U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is on a three-day visit to West Asia. The visit comes at a time when violence continues to sweep across Israel. The top U.S. diplomat aims to tone down the Israeli-Palestinian tensions. Blinken will be heading to Jerusalem today, where he will hold talks with the new Israeli administration, which includes the ultra-nationalist parties that want to expand the West Bank settlements. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's new right-wing government has stirred concern over the future of Israel's secular values and the ongoing deadlock over peace talks with Palestinians. During his visit, Blinken is also expected to reiterate Washington's support for a two-state solution. The U.S. Secretary of State will also travel to Ramallah to meet the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, where he will be calling for broader steps to de-escalate tensions in that region, after a gunman on Friday killed 7 people outside a synagogue in Jerusalem, marking its deadliest terror attack in over a decade. Blinken will also be meeting the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the Egyptian Foreign Minister today. He's also expected to discuss regional issues such as Libya and Sudan. On day one of his 3-day trip to West Asia, he met with the Egyptian youth leaders and emphasized on how he wanted to strengthen Washington's strategic partnership with Egypt.
As we're looking at the partnership between the United States and Egypt, a strategic partnership that is of great consequence to the United States, we know that going forward, that partnership ultimately is going to be built and sustained and strengthened by the people here today and the people that you represent.
Jody Cohen is our correspondent in Israel. She's joining us live now from Jerusalem to talk more about this story. Hi, Jody. So much has happened over the last few days when it comes to the Israeli-Palestinian tensions. What is your assessment on the ground? Are we looking at a new intifada or Palestinian uprising?
Hi, Eric. Yes, if we just recap what's happened over the last 5 or so days, it's really shocking how quickly things have escalated. Remember, we saw Prime Minister Netanyahu taking his first visit abroad last week to Jordan to try to ease tensions with the Palestinians ahead of the holy month of Ramadan in March. We then saw Israel carrying out an operation in Jenin, which it says was to thwart multiple and major terror attacks. And 9 Palestinians were killed there in the deadliest day in the West Bank in years. The Palestinian Authority stopped security coordination with Israel as a result of that day of operations. We then saw rockets fired from Gaza into Israel. We then saw Israeli planes carrying out sorties targeting Hamas sites in Gaza. We then saw a weekend of terror attacks against Israeli civilians on Friday and Saturday. 7 people killed, multiple wounded in what's been called the deadliest day for Israelis since 2008. And I think what's particularly significant is, you remember, one of those attackers was a 13-year-old Palestinian shooter, and one of the victims was a 14-year-old Israeli boy. It really underscores the tragedy of this ongoing conflict. The Israeli Security Cabinet has then been considering its response, not only to what it says are the attacks, but also the celebrations that have been seen on the Palestinian street in response to the attacks. They're going to be taking steps to try to deter further attacks. There's been talk of strengthening the settlements and potentially making it easier also for civilians to get gun licenses. And meanwhile, as you said, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken is arriving here in what is certainly a tense time. Whether or not we're looking at another intifada remains to be seen, but we do know that he will be trying to restore security coordination between Israel and the Palestinian Authority.
Right, Jody. Do you think Blinken will be able to restore security coordination between Israel and Palestine? What else is likely to be on the agenda when he lands in that region?
So Blinken is visiting Egypt, where he is going to be meeting around about now with President el-Sisi and then with the foreign minister. At around lunchtime, local time, he'll be landing in Israel, where he's going to be meeting here where I am in the political district in the center of Jerusalem, meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu, with Foreign Minister Eli Cohen, and later this evening, meeting with President Herzog. On Tuesday, he's going to be traveling to Ramallah for meetings with Palestinian Authority President Abbas and with senior officials there. The priority is right now to be discussing easing the tensions and the importance of the two-state solution. Whether or not he can restore security coordination, we'll have to wait and see on that. But the agenda is certainly a packed one. Remember, this was a pre-planned visit before these tensions started. It's known that with Israel, he'll also be discussing security regional cooperation. He'll be talking about the government's proposed judicial reform plans. Remember, also, we've seen just now the completion of the largest ever joint US-Israeli drills, which was seen as preparation for a potential strike on Iran's nuclear facilities. The CIA chief is here. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan has just been here. So Iran is certainly going to be on the agenda too. And of course, we saw over the weekend a strike on an Iranian defense facility, which Saudi reports said was, they suggested that it was the US and another country responsible for those strikes. A US media report has since suggested that Israel was involved in those strikes as well. So a lot's going on, as you said, and a lot will be discussed on the agenda during Blinken's visit to West Asia.
We'll have to end this discussion here. Live from Jerusalem, our correspondent Jody Cohen. Jody, thank you. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.